kindergartner, first grade, so the K-1 class, first grade, and a fourth grader in the 2-5 class. The first thing we looked for was we absolutely wanted an alternative-based education that truly embodied alternative education. Not just a alternative for the sake of saying they're alternative, but in their philosophy and their practice day to day. Odyssey did that. We visited many of the schools in the neighborhood, and there was something about this school that was different and special than any other school. The feel, the teachers, the faculty, the philosophy, what they do, they live it. It's not just the mission, it's not just the stuff that's in the paperwork. It's the energy of the school that is carried through in every vein that happens, from the day-to-day stuff to the big celebration stuff. You got to feel it. When you walk in, you know it. When you know it, you know it. And there's an essence here that is like nowhere else we've been. We've lived throughout many places in the country. This was a volunteering move for us, purely for Odyssey. And when we visited the other schools, they were all good and they all had their qualities, but there's something special about the energy in this school that you can't even put into words.
I'm Ginny Hunneke. I'm mother of Morgan Hunneke. He's a 5th grader this year, and he has been here since Odyssey was founded 3 years ago. I'm currently serving as chairman of the board, and I also teach English for the 11th grade class. And why am I here? Well, there are a million years, but today the Festival of the Heart Day is a perfect example. I get to watch my child be a big buddy, to be a friend, to have intergenerational experiences, to know who he is in community, to have the experience of being confident in knowing his place and knowing his purpose, to function from the heart. You know, academics are important, and he gets that here. But I think learning how to function in community and to know your self-worth and to know what is important in terms of relating to people, it's more important than anything. I notice the successful people around me, and the reason they're successful has little to do with how much they learned or how much they studied or what their grades were. It has everything to do with how they relate to people and how they relate in community, and a strong sense of self-worth, self-esteem, and belonging. And he gets that here. I think we parents get that here. It feels great. There are great public schools in Asheville. However, I think the idea of learning one's place in community, understand our connection with the greater community, the deep ecology, the spirituality, is something you can't touch in public school. We have kids here of all different faith traditions, and they're able to talk about it openly and engage in conversations about spirituality with the adults in the community, the faculty, the parents, and I think that is probably one of the core reasons for my being here. I don't think we can ignore that aspect of being in education. It's the integral concept that to become a healthy, whole human being involves all the 6 strands, and spirituality can't be left out. And for my child to be able to walk on this planet and feel safe, confident, and secure, he needs a spiritual component. And when children are spending the greater part of their waking hours in school, you can't ignore that.
My name's Gaylord Chambers, and I have one child in Odyssey, and currently she's in kindergarten. She started in preschool. Odyssey offers everything that your child needs to be truly educated, and really focuses on them being responsible for their education and responsible for their learning. And I don't think any other school does that in Asheville. I feel like my child's academic needs are being met, plus more than that. I think that she's learning how to learn, she's learning to love to learn, she's not being discouraged from learning and hating school. I feel like all the basic academics are met at a much higher standard than what I've seen with other kids at the same age level.
Would you recommend Odyssey to other parents, to other families?
Yes, I do it every day.
Well, my name is Ira Starr. My wife's name is Alyssa. And we have one child in K1, Isaac, who's 5. And we have a little 2-year-old, Tio, who will be coming here probably in a year or two.
With all the educational options in Asheville, why Odyssey?
Because there's no other place like it. It's very unique. Isaac is thriving. His internal self is emerging, like, you know, it's an amazing evolution. And what he's learning in conjunction with that is just doesn't seem to be available in any other venue. The teacher combinations are phenomenal. The thought that goes into the curriculum is amazing. It's a bit non-traditional, yet it touches on all those tools that are going to be needed in our society and our culture now and in the future, but yet it brings or allows the child to be individual, and it brings their individual talents to the surface.
If you had one thing to say to parents that are considering Odyssey for their kids, what would you say to them?
Come and visit and join us in some of our celebrations and see how our staff, how all our children interact with one another, and see how that fits within your world and in your feelings about things, and join us.
So our children are in currently the 4th grade and the 1st grade. I'll be going into the 5th and the 2nd grade here. And actually, we didn't just have options in Asheville. We actually moved to Asheville, and the school was one of the reasons for our picking this location. So we actually have the freedom to live anywhere we want in the country. And this school was actually part of our reason for moving here, mostly because of the integral model, which is a very rare model to find, and being based on multiple intelligence. It just really fit the environment we want to create for our kids, for an education environment. Probably the favorite thing we have about Odyssey, speaking for my wife and I, is that we really love the spiritual component, and it's a real community where people really care about the children and their spiritual development as well as their emotional development and their education. So I think that's an important component for us.
And why is that so important to you?
Because I think with especially when children are young, it's important to develop them as a whole being in a very rounded way. I think that's a more important focus than even just the basics of education and being able to do certain written skills or mathematical skills. It's to develop those in an environment where you're really looking at the entire being and how they're developing.
To those who came before me, and it's their love that I take with me this morning. Our work today will be here tomorrow. What we give will surely come to follow. Everybody now, everybody. I give thanks to those who came before me, and it's their love that I take with me this morning. Our work today will be here tomorrow. What we give will surely come.